Hi guys, I'm Sai. I'm going to talk about Linux administration codes. Okay, so how it is looks like and everything, and even I'll go through the installation stuff for your practice and all. Okay, so in the Linux admin actually, first is Linux is a OS actually operating system. Okay, so operating system, like there are many other operating systems, right? Like Windows and Mac OS and all. So Linux is also one of the operating systems. There are many operating systems actually, like Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, Debian, okay, Debian, and even like SUSE Linux, okay, Solaris, something like this. Like we have many flavors, etc., flavors of Linux. So actually, why I mean, almost all the organizations, IT organizations, use Linux operating system. Why? Because it is a open source in the first place, and maintenance is very like we can run the system continuously. So maintenance will be very less. It means like we can run the system continuously, there won't be any struck and all. And completely CLI is possible, character line interface. It means you can actually communicate with the operating system completely in CLI. Even there will be a GUI also, but completely CLI it is possible. And you can install in GUI also actually, right? So but CLI is completely possible in Linux. Okay, and within less resources you can install the system, which means like even 512 MB also possible. Within 512 MB you can install it. And mostly we do not require antivirus for like Linux operating systems. You might heard about it already, right? So that is quickly like the features. There are many other features like multi-user, multitasking and all. So um, now I'll show you like how to install Red Hat. Either you can install in a physical environment, right? There are three kinds of environments. Like one is physical environments, okay, and VMware environments, okay. VMware environments, like it works on like kind of VTX, okay, virtualization technology. And even we can install in the cloud also, right? So there are many clouds, like AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure, and GCP, right? So any of the clouds and many other clouds we have. So any of the clouds, we can also get the Linux OS. Now I'll show you like physical environments, in the sense you can install in your own system, okay. And virtual environments means, so for example you have 40 GB of RAM, and then there is like 10 CPUs you have. For example, with this configuration you have a system, okay. In this system what you will do is you can install VMware. And in this VMware you can install multiple servers like server 1, server 2, server 3 and all, okay. For example, for server 1 you kept resources. For example, you assign resources 4 GB of RAM, for example, and 1 CPU, for example, okay. For server 2, let's say for server 2 you assigned 8 GB of RAM, okay, and then just 2 CPUs. It, how many resources are available in the system, that many resources you can assign. This is how the people install in the VMware environment, like vCenter and all. There are many other tools like vSphere client, we can access. vCenter is also another tool where we can install in this way, this manner. Okay, so I'll quickly go through the VMware installation and where to download it. Okay, so this is the link. I'll give you this link in the description of this video. Okay, you can download it from there. I'll just paste it here and then just give enter. You can say like here in the down right. So workstation 17 Pro for Windows, you can click on this link to download. Okay, so I already downloaded it, which is there in my downloads. Okay, I'll pick it from here. So which is already there, okay. And we require one more installer, one more like OS, right? RHL 79 or 76 or 75, whatever the version you want, you can install, you can get it. So I'm giving the link here for 7.6. even you can download for 7.9. So this is just the link. I'll give it in the chart so that you can pick it from there, and they can just click enter, it will be downloaded. So it is around like 4.2 GB, around 4.2 GB, right? So you can download it. I have already downloaded, so I'm canceling it. So I have it already. So this is the one which I downloaded. So these are the two installers that you need to download and install VMware first. Let's double click on the VMware to set up. Okay, so let it. So this VMware environments, like in our system for our practice, like we can use this VMware in the real time. We might have this vCenter in place, and we realize, so there are so many other tools where people, organizations uses. So let it actually extract. You need to click on S, and here it is extracting. Let it. I'm just closing this. So this is installing still. Let it install. Okay, what are the steps that I'm going to discuss here? Same steps you can follow, guys. I'll be uploading many other videos in the playlist. Okay, I can watch those videos. These are all like real time tools, and real time work environment, real time commands which I'm going to explain. So you can watch in detail each and every video, so that it will be very useful, even if you are going, for Linux administration level, or any production support kind of role. Okay, very useful. Okay, so here this is the installer, and click next, and I accept, and click next here, and then click next again. Just click next setup, it is okay, not a big thing. Okay, just click on install. So in further videos, like I'll be keeping all the real-time work, real-time commands, which we use in our day-to-day work. Those commands, if you learn, right? So if you're going, I mean, if you're changing your role, or if you're going as a fresher into the Linux administration, these videos are very useful. If you learn it before itself, so it will be very useful for you, for your work, and for your learning. Okay, so if you have any questions or any doubts even after this video, you can just keep comments, and then I'll be there for you, to help. Okay, let it install. It is taking a lot of time to install. Let it. So for this VMware, it will ask for installation keys after this. Okay, you might, you can buy the keys, or you can get it from the Google, and then you can search, and then go for it. I'll do it later, and I'll show you now how to install an operating system in the VMware. Okay, so how to install an operating system, you might aware or you might not, but I'll show you in virtual environments. It means in one system we are installing VMware. In this VMware environment, we are installing multiple virtual machines, right? So in this tool itself, we are installing multiple ways, sharing the resources. For example, in this system I have 40 gig, whatever I shown here, right? um, so whatever I shown here, so let me, in this, right, whatever I shown here, the same kind of stuff. Okay, you can create based on your system resources. You can install multiple systems. Even we can install in the 512 MB also. There is the thing. Okay, for our practice purpose. Okay, let it install. Almost done. Okay, just finish and open VMware, which is already there here in the desktop, or even you can type in the start menu. You can get it. Okay, just close this. Okay, so here in the home, right, click on it will be like this when you are install. Okay, so you can even like go to file and then click create new virtual machine, or else you can click on this create new virtual machine button. Anything is fine. So you will open this dialog box. Use typical or custom, anything. I'm using typical. Okay, click next, and then you need to select, like, I will install the operating system later. Just select it, we'll select it later. Next, and then you need to actually which OS you are installing, right? So sorry, which OS you are installing, either Microsoft Windows or Linux, or which one you are installing. For example, Linux, and then you can choose here the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, 7.6 or 7.9, 7, right? So I'm selecting 7 here. Click next, and then you can give the name of the mission here. For example, mission for demo, or anything, right? So here I'm giving the same thing. So virtual missions, mission for demo, that is the system name. And click next, and then how much GB of disk that you want. Okay, so click next, and then finish. Okay, so this is the mission which I just created, mission for demo. And you need to click on CD or DVD, because we need a OS, right? So we need OS to be selected. So the other 4.2 GB OS file, ISO image file, which we downloaded, you need to select it. Okay, use ISO image file, click on browse. So in the on the downloads, like I have already 7.9, so I'm just selecting it. Whatever you downloaded, you can just select it and click OK, and then just power on the system. Okay, we just created virtual mission, and then selected the ISO image file, and then starting up the system. That's it. Now it will start up with the installation process. I'll show you one by one how we need to install this. Okay, so here you can close this, we do not require anymore. So it is taking up the CD. Okay, so this is the one, right? So here I'm just making little bigger. Okay, little bigger. So here I can see I'm outside. When you click inside, it will be inside. When you press Control Alt to come out, Control Alt to come out. Okay, so I'm just selecting the first option to install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.9. Enter. Okay, so it will actually take that, and then it will start the installation process. Okay, even you can install not only Linux. Okay, even you can install Windows, even you can install any other OS, Red Hat I mean Linux flavors. If you have, you can install it in any of the flavors. You can even Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE, whatever the OS that you have, you can install. Okay, so it is starting up the installation process here. Let it start. It looks like a bit slow. Okay, I'll just close other processes meanwhile. Okay, starting installer. One moment. Okay, let it start. I'll just close this. Close this. Okay. Even you can click on the top. You can see, right. Left side. You can see, right. Click on this one. You can see what are all the virtual machines that you have. These virtual machines which I created earlier. So it is showing. But I'm creating a new system now. Okay. We should be patient here. So It will take some time to bring. Okay, this is the one. Okay, here you need to select what do language, I mean what language would you like to use during the installation process. Even we can see Telugu, Hindi or Kannada, anything, right? We have many other languages. Okay, so everything we can see. Okay, so here just select the English India, I'm selecting it. And you can just even me later, you can click on continue. Here click on continue, it will be continue. Okay, and next here you need to select the date and time. ACR Kolkata time zone, it is correct. And if that is not correct, you can just select it, and then you can select the time zone. And keyboard layout, actually it is getting list of layouts. It means whatever the keyboard layout that you are connected to the system, that keyboard layout it will select. If you are using laptop or anything, that keyboard layout it will pick it there. Okay, and data time, it is automatically selected Asia Kolkata, which is correct, so I no need to do anything. And here English India, that is fine. And if you select it, if you type A B C D and everything is working fine or not, or symbols are coming fine or not, 1 2 3 working fine or not, everything okay, the layout is correct, click on done. Okay, so here installation source will be local media, and software selection is the one. So in this software selection, either you can select minimal install or server with GUI, anything. Okay, or infrastructure server, there are many other options, but I'm going with the server with GUI. I want GUI mode because we can use CLI as well as GUI. So when I install GUI, even I can use CLI. If you install just CLI, you cannot use GUI, right? So that is the reason I'm selecting GUI. Okay, next automatic partitioning selected. So let it be automatic partitioning configuration, because we don't know what all the other partitions require and all now. So I'm selecting automatically configure partitioning. Okay, and then click done. Okay, so that is the installation destination. We need to select automation partitioning. It will automatically do partition, actually slash boot partition, and the slash root file system partition and all. Okay, that is it. So just click on begin installation, it will start the installation process. Okay, so here root password user creation. See guys, root means root itself is an Linux administrator username. Okay, root itself is a user. So I'm setting the password for the root user. Okay, and click done. I'm just setting 4 characters, that is fine. And if you want to create a new user creation, you can set a new user. Here I'm setting my user. Okay, I'm setting the password for that user. Click that. So the user will be Sai will be created, right? So Sai will be created after some time. Okay, so here starting package installation process, it will take lot of time, almost maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes it will take time. Okay, meanwhile I'll go through the Linux architecture. Okay, so let it be, let's discuss Linux architecture meanwhile. Okay, see guys, while installing, if you have like VTX error while starting up the server. Okay, you need to actually shut down the laptop, and then switch on the laptop again, and you need to keep on pressing F2, I mean for BIOS settings. And then you need to select the virtualization option. Virtualization option should be true. Okay, so then only we should be able to use this VMware, otherwise we can't use it. Okay, and then F10 function key to save the changes, and then come out and start up the system again. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. You know what is already virtualization and all. So I'll discuss here the Linux file system. What is Linux file system, right? So I'll get you an image here. Okay, it is started. So let's take Linux file system. Okay, go to images. Okay, Linux architecture, right? Not file system, architecture. Okay, let's take this. Copy image. I'll open the paint, paste it. Okay, so this is the actual image, right? So in this, first one would be hardware here, right? You can see first one would be the hardware. Okay, so here I'll take the thing. Okay, first one would be hardware. What is meant by hardware? All the input devices, output devices, processing devices connected to the system, like combination of all the devices would be hardware. And what is kernel? Kernel is a it is a kind of a OS. It is a base OS actually. It will have all the drivers and modules of the server. It means like a OS, right? So all the drivers, modules, what are all the commands and everything, it will be it will hold actually the kernel. Okay, so shell is a place where we can run the commands, and applications are like any of the applications you install. That is applications. So shell is a place where we can run the commands. Right? Whenever you run the commands, shell interact with the kernel. Kernel interact with the hardware because shell is actually a place where we can run the commands. So this will interact always with the OS, that is kernel, and kernel process the data by interacting with the hardware, and then it will return output back to the shell. In the same way, applications, whenever you are running any application or any commands from the application, again this application like commands will interact with the shell, shell interact with the kernel, kernel interact with the hardware. This how like four layers, right? Again it will return back to the applications. So which one is faster here? If you see which one is faster, right? So whenever you are interacting with the kernel, it is faster because there is only one layer, that is kernel. If you are interacting with the applications, it will be fast only, but a bit slower when we compared with the shell, right? So that is the main difference. This is the mission architecture actually. Okay, so you can see like what is shell and what is kernel and all. If you wanted to know, I'll show you. Basically I'll show you simple thing here. For example, if you see command prompt, okay. So command prompt in the Windows, right? Command prompt in the Windows. So if you go to, for example, CD downloads, right? CD downloads means change directory. It means opening the directory. I'm entering into downloads. So here mkdir making the directory 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For example. Just give enter. Let's open the downloads now, or let's come back to cd space dot, that is a command to come back to one directory. Okay, so here I'm opening desktop. Okay, so I'm creating the same, I'm creating the same number of directories. Okay, so see, within seconds it is able to create 10 directories here. For example, I'll create some more directories mkdir here. Okay, 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6. I'm giving the name of the directories actually. Just give enter. You can see like some more directories will create. See, it is created or no? It is created. So it means command line. It is a kind of a shell, right? So this is actually MS DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System, right? So actually this is the command. So if you are running the command directly, it will interact with the like kernel. It will interact with the kernel actually. Kernel interact with the hardware, and it will be returned back to the shell. See how within seconds we are able to create the directories, right? So if you want to create manually, right click, go to like new, and then folder you need to select, right? So what will happen? So whenever you do right click, right, all these things, the entire software should load. I mean the visual code, whatever written in the Windows, right? So it should load that code, and then go to new. Again, this all program should load. Again, you need to create, click on folder. Whenever you click on the folder, again it will run the same command, that is mkdir internally. Mkdir system call only will run, right? So through application, it is bit slower. It will take lot of time. It requires lot of resources. But if you are doing with the shell, it will be very faster, right? So that's the reason, like, shell is a place where we can run the commands. It is very very much faster than GUI. Okay. So yeah, so that is what actually the CLI mean, right? So you understood it. So this is actually Linux architecture. I'm explaining again: hardware, kernel, shell, and applications. So whenever you're trying to run the commands in the shell, it will interact with the kernel. Kernel will interact with the hardware, and then from hardware it will be back to shell. The output will be back to shell. And if you are going with the applications, it is bit slower when we compare with the shell. Okay, shell will be very faster because we are directly running the calling the system calls. We are not using any other applications or whatever, right? Yeah, so this is actually Linux architecture. And you also need to know one thing here. Let me open this. Okay, so Linux file system. What is Linux file system, right? See guys, a Linux file system mean, so it will take some time to install. That is the reason, like, I'm going to explain this Linux file system as well. Okay, so in the Linux file system mean, what is file system, what is database system? File system mean, best example is OS. Database system mean, best example is like MySQL, Oracle. Like if you wanted to store the data in the form of rows and columns, right? So for example, if you want to store images and all, right? Where you store actually all your songs, videos, and photos and all, you'll create a directory, right? So it means in this C drive, and we have C drive here. Here we create a directory like media, and then inside it you can create a MP3, MP4 videos and all. You create multiple directories and then multiple folders, and you will maintain the files, right? So this is how you will maintain in the Windows, like directories and then folders means folders and then files. In the Linux we call it as directory. Folder means directory. Okay, so in the Linux it will start with the slash. Slash means root file system. Inside slash we have boot directory, root directory, home directory, and all. There are multiple things. Okay, so boot means, slash boot means where we can see all bootable files, which means like to start up the system, what all the files required will be there in the slash boot. Booting means whenever you start up the system until login prompt comes, right, there will be some process happens, that is called booting, right? So all those like supported files will be there in the slash boot to start up the system. Okay, slash root. Root itself, I mean root user itself a administrator user. In the Windows, administrator is an administrator. In the Linux environments, root user, root itself is a user, that is administrator user. So root user home directory, slash root means root user home directory. Slash home is for normal users. For example, Krishna, Nitesh, Udayasri. There are multiple other users, right? Multiple users in a company, right? So in a company, so whenever you create a user, user add username. This is the command to create user add space username. That's it. Whenever you create a user, it will create the user in. I mean, it will create the user home directory in the slash home Krishna for Krishna user. For example, I'll be joining here. What I'll do, so I can run user add Sai. So the Sai home directory will create where? So Sai home directory will create slash home slash Sai, something like that. And slash etc. Slash etc is a place all system configuration files. So system configuration file means what? Best thing, like for example in your mobile, if you want to decrease the brightness of your mobile, you can decrease it, right? You can turn off one sim if you have two sims. And even if you want to, I mean any changes based on your need, if you want to set alarm, you can configure it, right? So in the same way, if you want to configure something in the system, for example, password you wanted to log, root user you wanted to log, you wanted to log the user, or you wanted to kind of block something, there will be many configuration files, right? So all those configuration files will be in the slash etc. Okay, best examples are this. Okay, So in later sessions, we will get to know what is slash etc. Topic wise, we will learn many other configuration files. Okay. Slash var means variable analysis report, where we can see all the system logs, right? System log means, for example, in your mobile, call logs, who called, when called, how much time you've spoken, whether you disconnected the call or received the call, everything you can see, right? In the same way, in the slash var, we can store the logs, what is going on this system. We can verify. For example, yesterday 10 o'clock, I want to get the memory CPU information. What was the CPU usage, what was the memory usage, those details you can get it in the slash var. Okay, all the details, like all these logs, you can get it there. USR means Unix system resources. It means like what are all what is mean by resource here. Okay, so for your if you are working for a company, you are the resource. If you want to work, you require a laptop is a resource to you, right? So something like that. If you want to finish a task, for example, you wanted to create a file, you wanted to create a directory, you wanted to create a partition, you wanted to patch the server, right? All these tasks are Linux admin tasks, right? You wanted to start the service, you wanted to take the backup, you wanted to copy the files, you wanted to move the files, whatever the task you want to perform, you need some resources. Resource mean here, the commands itself, we can call it as resources. Either we can call resources or binaries or commands. Okay, so slash usr, in the inside slash usr bin is there, normal user commands, it means any user can run in the system. And slash usr has been, it means super user binaries, it means only root user can run by default. By default, only root user can run, no other normal users cannot run by default. If normal user wanted to run, we need to provide some permissions. Those are sudoers permissions. Okay. Slash usr bin, that will learn, sudoers permission will learn in the later sessions. So slash usr lib 64, which means all the libraries, 64-bit libraries and all, we can see in the lib. Okay. And slash bin slash has bin slash lib 64, all these are shortcut files or soft links, we can also call it as symbolic links. What is link and all, we'll discuss in later sessions, but these four are link files. Okay, so these four link files, original path would be slash usr bin for slash bin, slash usr s bin for s bin, something like this. Okay, so the same stuff whatever I explained here. Okay, next one is slash proc, all current processing information we can see in the system. It means like what is the CPU, what is the RAM of every process. Whenever you run a command, it requires some memory, some CPU. Whenever you are doing a process, whenever you are running any application is running, you can see always like memory information, CPU information for each process. All this current processing information we can see in the slash proc for each process ID. Okay, slash dev is all device information like hard disk, cd or terminals, all the things we can see it in the slash dev. When you connected a external hard drive or terminal, cd or dvd, everything will be a file in the system. Okay, slash mnt media, these two are temporary mounting file systems. Okay, if you want to mount, for example, external drives, external hard disk or pen drive, any device you connected to the system externally, those can be mounted on slash mnt or slash media, anything you can use. And 15th one is slash tmp, temporary directory, which is usually used for backupping purpose. So if you want to back up the files, we go for slash tmp. Okay, so uh, I mean in the real time, basically, if you are deleting a file, okay, what you can do is you will take a backup actually. For example, krishna is a user, he is deleting a file, he will take the backup, I mean he will just copy of the file into this slash tmp, and then he will give some name and then date of whatever the date here. For example, I'm giving the today's date 08 02 2023, for example, or something like that, right? So whatever the date, okay, this is the today's date I'm giving, I can give the today's date, something like that. So so this is how the backupping purpose we use, where we have sticky bit permission applied. So whoever keep the file, okay, in this directory, they will have complete access, others will have only read access. but root can access any file. Okay. And the last one is slash opt mean where we can install third party softwares, like if you want to install DevOps applications or informatic applications or big data applications, any application servers, web servers, even Jenkins, any tool. If you want to install third party which is not provided by Red Hat or any like OS vendor, if that is a third party one, then we install in the slash opt. Okay. This is what complete a Linux file system, guys. It's very important that everyone should know, because you people really wanted to go with the Linux administration or any role like production support and all. So these stuff you require. Okay. And let's see whether it is done or not. It is performing a post installation setup task. Okay, so I'll just recap what we discussed in the file system. Okay, so slash boot, where we can see, I mean, inside slash is a starting point, like just like C drive in the Windows. And the boot is a like a file system where we can see all bootable files. Okay. And slash root is a root user file system, root user home directory actually. Slash home, where we can see all normal user home directories. And slash etc all system configuration files we can see. Slash var variable analysis report, it means all the system logs we can see. And slash us are Unix system resources, which means like commands, super user commands, normal user commands, and lib64, all the libraries we can see in the slash usr. And these four are like symbolic links. And slash proc, where we can see current processing information, like how much memory, how much ram, what is the disk usage, all the related to processing, it will show you, not the log, but it will actually show you about the resources usage. Okay. And slash dev, like all the device information like terminals, hard disk, cd and all. Everything is a file in Linux. Terminal you might not aware, but I'll tell you like how what is terminal. Whenever you're like connecting with the some other ssh tools or command prompt or anything that you are trying to log in, actually in any company, right? So you will get the IP address, right, or host name. Whenever you get the IP address or host name, you need to log into this system, right? So if you wanted to log in, definitely you require a tool, some ssh tool, right? So whenever you're trying to log in through the ssh tool, you will connect it with some terminal. In a simple term, you log into the Gmail account in one system, and in other in your laptop or in other systems, if you log in, it means for each system it will open a session, right? In the same way here also terminals. Slash mnt media, guest partitions. And slash tmp temporary directory, which we use for backupping the files. Okay. Slash opt, where we can install third party softwares. Okay. So this is all about file system. So let's let it complete. It is still doing it. If you have any questions, anything, you can let me know. I'll be able to help you with that. Okay. Just follow all this like one by one installation process and all, and then later whatever the videos that I'll be deploying, putting into the YouTube, you can watch all those videos one by one so that you will get clear picture. Okay. Meanwhile, um, so I'll explain a few commands here, right? So we just use cd, right? Cd means change directory. Mkdir, making the directory, creating the directory. If you want to create a file, you can use touch command or cat command. You can use either touch or cat command. Okay. All these commands we will learn in the next session. Okay. So in the next session we will learn it. It means this is just the command to open the directory, that's it. This is just the command to create the directory. This is just the command to create the empty file. If you want with the data, you can use cat command, right? Something like that. Everything is a command in Linux. If you want to perform any task, everything we can do. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll tell you what are all the Linux admin tasks actually. Linux admin tasks. Okay. So we are installing it, right? So we are installing mean building the servers, which means you will be responsible to build the servers as part of Linux admin, because everything, whatever happens in the Linux servers, you are the responsible for it. You should be monitoring, you should be checking the resources, you'll be checking the services and all, everything you should monitor. Okay, so first one is building the servers. It means installation. For example, user is unable to log into the server, right? So we need to check why user is unable to log into the server. Maybe user account logged, or user password logged, or any configuration missed, right? User there or not in the first place, right? All these things you need to verify, and something like this. And next one, for example, extend the or creation of partitions. If you want to create a partitions to first to store some data, so you need to get the disk and create a partition on top of it. So the task you need to learn, right? And um, and patching the server. Patching the server means updating the servers. Updating the servers, how you perform? Either you can do manually, or else you can do using satellite server. If you have Red Hat satellite server subscription, you can do it with the satellite server that we learn in the software management. Okay, so that is patching the servers. Okay, and fifth one, installing services like FTP file transfer protocol to copy the files from one server to another server. NFS network file system. If you want to share a file system among multiple servers, you can go for NFS. And configuring SSHD. In SSHD, you'll be logging using SSH service from outside. Putty, Mobaxter, Money, any SSH tools. If you want to use it, you need SSHD. If you want to log the users, or if you want to passwordless authentication, if you want to enable and all, we will configure all these services. Okay, so this kind of stuff. And the sixth one, scheduling cron jobs, maybe, right? Schedule cron jobs. For example, you want to take a backup of a few files every week, or every month, or every 6 months. One time you need to perform a task. For example, deleting the old logs to free up the space, right? So automatic jobs, automatic tasks that you, if you want to perform, you can write a script and you can run the job. You can schedule the jobs actually. It will perform automatically. It will take the backup automatically. It will actually delete the files automatically. Okay, so that is the one. And yeah, so there are many other things actually that you can perform. Okay, as part of Linux admin. So this overall Linux admin task. Okay, uh, I'll tell you, like in the later sessions, like we will come across all these. Okay. It is still performing. Okay, it's very easy one, not a big stuff. Come on, let's finish soon. Okay, so after this, we'll discuss the commands in maybe in tomorrow's session or later. Okay, we can watch those videos so that you'll get more idea on that. You'll get more idea like how we need to run the commands, and all. You'll get it. Okay, so it is a very easy task for Linux admin. Very easy task mean, like there will be no coding, and building the servers is very easy task, right? Installing stuff. User is unable to log in. We need to check it. And something like server is not accessible. Why it is not accessible? We need to check. And partition is full. What you need to do? Partition is full in your mobile. What you will do if your storage is full? What you will do? You'll just zipping the files or moving the files into some other location, or deleting the old files which you do not require anymore, right? So all those tasks you will be performing, right? Here also same, we will zip the files, and we will extend the space if required. We can also delete the old logs, 90 days old logs, if they are not required at all. Okay, all those like with commands only we will perform all those. Okay, so that we learn in the find command. You can watch, like we have a video already on top of it, will be deployed soon. So you can watch that, you'll get idea. Okay, so once this is done, you'll get the login prompt. It will just ask for restart, and then you'll get the login prompt. Mm, it is still doing. Let it complete. Come on, why it is slow? It is already like copied everything and performing post installation setup tasks. Okay, let it complete. Yeah, so it is almost done. It is installing bootloader again. Yeah, configuring installed systems. Almost done now. Generating initramfs file. Initramfs file means it's a kernel image file. Okay, it's a kernel image file. Okay, we talked about kernel, right? Kernel is having all the modules, drivers and all, right? So kernel is a image. It will create an image, and it will act, it will take the it will route to the specific library or command or whatever. So that is what it is generating init ramfs. Oh come on, why it is too slow? There is something going on here. The process wise everything fine, but it is getting slow. The RAM also free here. Based on your speed of the system, it will actually perform. Okay. Okay, which is done. You can see which is done, and then you just need to reboot the server. So let it restart. So we just need to accept the license agreement and then start up the system. That's it. Okay. I mean, use it. So whenever your system is getting stuck, you can close all your things here. Here you can see right. So which was running, so I closed it. So it will just free up the space of RAM or CPU. Then it will be bit faster. Yeah, it is loading. It may be too boring for you. Um, yeah, so for installation also, the job will be boring sometimes, but we should be patient on this. Okay. Yeah, this is done. License accept. Here we need to accept the license agreement and click done. Okay. So finish configuration on the down. Okay. That is it, guys. This is the installation. Now it will show you the login prompt, and you can log in with the any user, Sai user, which is created, or you can also log in with the root user by clicking on not listed. Okay. So this is the login prompt, right? So here you can see Sai. Here you can click on not listed. You can use the username root and then password as root. That's it. So because I given the password as root. Okay. Uh, Root user is an Linux administrator user, right? So you can click on that and then it will open. That's it. Always you can log in with the root user or else with the normal user. Anything. Okay. That is all about. Now it will open the yeah, so we are able to log in, right? So here you can do like click on right click on this and then open terminal, and then it will open the terminal. Okay, so that is it. It's just click next one. Okay, these are no matter, they just skipping one actually. Start using, and this is just getting started a page. Okay guys, so in this video, like we discussed the basic of Linux, why we are using Linux and all, and the Linux admin task and Linux file system, and the stuff actually, installation of VMware, and installation of Linux operating system. Thanks for watching this video with your patience. Let me know if you have any questions or any doubts. I'll be there. Thank you. Bye bye.